I think that you need to sponsor me, Miss Morphe. Hey guys, it's felecia here, and welcome back to my channel. Make sure that you subscribe so you can watch all of my future videos, and if you're new here, you can watch all of my other ones that will be linked at the end of the video. As you can see by the title of the video, I am going to be showing you all my eyeshadow palettes, and along with showing them to you, I'm actually going to be reviewing them and giving them a rating out of 10, so you guys can decide whether or not you want to purchase these too. And without further ado, let's get into it. I have this little 3-drawer container, bin, whatever you'd like to call it, that has my palettes stored in them. So I'm just gonna pull one out and I'm just gonna talk about it, and if I can find them, I will definitely link them in the description. Make sure you check that out if you want to buy them. The next palette that I have is again another 9-pan Morphe one, and this is the 9T Neutral Territory Artistry palette. And this one is a really great investment for just everyday looks. If I can open it. I have not used this one actually, but it just has very neutral colors in it, and it's kind of like the same, they're like the same shades as Kylie's bronze palette, I believe. It just has a really nice selection of very neutral colors, hence why I guess it's called Neutral Territory. But you can do so many different looks with this because these are all basic colors. So there's a mixture of tans and browns, and then there are shimmers and mattes in it as well, so that's something that you can play around with. And let's look at the names for this. So the names are Bear Play, Make a Deal, Straight Up, Midi, Pact, Promise, Halfway, Open Mind, and Win-Win. And again, this was I think $12. If you're looking for just like a natural, you know, neutral day-to-day palette, the 9T Neutral Territory one by Morphe is going to be your girl, your home girl. So the next one, I have to tell you guys, like, it's probably one of my favorites, and that's only because I am a Disney fan. And this palette that I'm about to show you guys is from one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, which is Frozen 2. I love Frozen, and Elsa is my girl. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. This is the Frozen 2 palette, and this is by Colourpop, and the color selection is so pretty. It's like mauve, blue, like berry colors, and then although they're not really focusing on camera, there are like these silver and white shimmery, glittery, glistening shades that are so pretty, and I love the packaging out of this. So this is going from left to right. Okay, wait, yes, so this is going from left to right. Cuddle Close, Fire, Northern Lights, Gale, Flurry, Water, Awakened, Ice Crystals, and Spindrift. Now on to my rating. I would give this a 10 out of 10, not only because it's Frozen, but just because of the performance of this palette. It's just so cute, and let me show you. This Ice Crystals, this little silver shade right here, let me show you how pigmented she is. Do you see that? I barely dabbed my finger into it, and look, like, no glitter, no shimmer shade is ever that pigmented on just the first swipe. So this is the Ice Crystals one. I love it. I'm pretty sure that on Colourpop's website they still have these, and at this point they're probably on sale. So if you want the Frozen palette, definitely go check it out. So now on to my more expensive palettes. Boop. Miss Kylie Jenner's palette. This is the Burgundy palette, and I love the color scheme in here. It's very fall, very pretty, neutral, matte and shimmer shades. The pigment on here, like, that was just barely putting my finger in it, and I absolutely love this palette. All right, so now I'm going to be reading the names, and again, these are going from left to right. So it's Naked, Beach, Penny, LA, Burgundy, Dubai, Brick, New York, and Almond. And if I could give this a rating out of 10, I would probably give this an 8. The only reason why it's not getting a 10 out of 10 is only because the formula is just a little bit dry compared to Colourpop and Morphe, where they're more of a buttery consistency. This is more like dry, so I would say that you have to kind of build them a lot more than you would for Colourpop or Morphe. But other than that, I still like them, and you know, Kylie's palettes, I still love them. All right, so now we have another Kylie palette. This was her holiday 2019 palette, and it's not in stores or online anymore because, you know, obviously it was a limited edition. But I mean, she still has other palettes that are relatively similar. So this is what it looks like. It is kind of dirty, and the lettering, like the Kylie lettering, is barely existent. So that's kind of like a flaw in my opinion. You see the box, like the box is super pigmented and super sparkly and shimmery, and then you have this as the like actual palette. So I don't know, I was kind of disappointed with that. I was very interested in this palette because it was a holiday palette, like Christmassy, and it was pink, and the color story for this is pink as well. So I was really confused because I'm like, this looks like a Valentine's Day palette, but this was the Christmas one that she put out for 2019. So I don't really know, but I was just interested in why the color story and the packaging and all of this stuff was pink when it wasn't a Valentine's Day theme, because she normally sticks to themes pretty well. I love this because it has the pinks, but then it has neutral brown and bronze and gold kind of shades, and then it also has a white and a black that are super pigmented. So I'm actually going to read the names, and then I'll just do like a little bit of a test on my finger because this is actually really pigmented. This is going from left to right. It's Martini Mama, Raspberry Sugar, Check ID, Be Mine, Candy Heart, Pray for Snow, Paybacks AB, we don't cuss on my channel, Rosé, Forever Young, Almond, Love Bug, Jack Frost, Bikini Mama, and Obsidian. So I'm going to be putting just a test on my 2 fingers. I'm going to use one for Candy Heart, which is this pink one, and she's actually pretty pigmented, I must say. That's this pink one right here, Candy Heart. And then the other one I'm going to test is a shimmer shade. I'm going to be doing Be Mine. And this one you have to kind of have to dig into it. But it's a really pretty like rose gold shimmery shade, and this is the Be Mine. Like, even Be Mine, like that's a Valentine's Day like saying. So the pigmentation, as you can see, is pretty decent. You know, I still think that her formulas are super dry, so that leads me into my rating. So if I could give this palette a rating, I would give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason why it got 1 more point than the Burgundy palette is because this packaging is absolutely adorable. It's just so pretty. I just really like the color story. I think the color story is really nice, and it has a good blend of different mattes and shimmers that you can do different looks with. So the next palette that I have to show you all is another Morphe palette, and this is the Coca-Cola and Morphe collab palette, and it is called Thirst for Life Artistry Palette. And if you know, red, black, and white is like my favorite like color combination, so it instantly drew my eye. And actually my best friend Shay bought this for me, so shout out to her. She knows me too well. One of the things that I love about this palette is the fact that they have red eyeshadows, and red eyeshadows are super difficult to create and to actually work with. But these three right here, okay, they are pigmented. I love this color story. I love that all the neutral tones are at the top, and then there's like a gold, and then some reds, blues, and then more neutral like shades. So you can do a lot of different looks with this palette, and I just am in love with it. And I think what I gravitate to is just that red glitter right here. Like, it's just so bomb. And I'm about to do like 2 finger swatches. Just a second. Forgive me for not actually showing you guys the red ones like I said I was, but let's just get back to the video. Okay. These are the 2 swatches that I did. One is this sparkle. Like, look how pigmented. Look how pigmented that is. And then this is just a brown shade. And I'm about to read the names to you guys. A Fizz, Bubble Up, Recognize, The Real Thing, Awaken, Name Drop, Open Up, Cool Story, Always Bright, Good and Red, Pop Culture, Add Life, Happiness. So that's this like shimmer shade, Happiness, Can Do, Move It, All the Feels, Energetic and Refreshing, and then this brown shade is All the Feels. My rating for this would be a 10 out of 10. I love Morphe products. Most of my palettes are Morphe, but I just really love the color combination in here. So Coca-Cola palette, it might be sold out right now, so I don't really know, but love that. So again, thank you to my bestie Shay. Y'all, I've been talking for a minute. Hold on. All right, so my last and final palette to show you all is, again, a Morphe palette. At this point, Morphe needs to sponsor me. 352 Second Nature palette, and I absolutely love this palette because it is just a bunch of browns and oranges. This palette I actually bought for dance team because our performance makeup is relatively natural, but you still want something with some pigment in it. So this was the go-to for me. So I always wore this on game days where I performed. I always would wear this palette. And even outside of dance, this is just like a very neutral palette that you can do so many different looks with. I'm about to do just 2 little finger swatches. So I'm gonna do like a shimmer shade and then a matte. Here we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. I hope you guys can see that. But it's just orange, like this orange matte, and then this orange shimmer shade. And I'm gonna read the names in a quick minute. But I really think this is super pigmented and really nice on my skin tone because all of these colors show up really well. But I do think that on a multitude of different skin tones, these would show up really nicely because they have like the lighter ones and they have the darker ones. So I would say that any skin tone can try this because it's like really good, and it actually was a really affordable price. So I'm gonna need Morphe to like stop putting this little film and just have the names right under the color, because this is annoying. Because when I try to do videos like this, I want to actually be showing you guys like I did with Kylie's and the Elsa one and all that. Universal Pure Orb Tan Sizzle Amber Bronzy Flux Contour Heat, which is that matte shade that I just showed you guys. Ablaze Sauce, which was that orange shimmery one. Fire Ruby Zodiac Polished Spice Terracotta Brick Rustic Zippy Dust Risky Chestnut Halo Rich Brave In the Zone Fawn Stone So Warm Toast Brunette Muddy and Whiz. I would give this palette I'd give it a 9 out of 10, only because you can do so much with it. Like, it's just very neutral. It's not like super interesting like some of the other palettes I have are. So that's why I'm giving it a 9. But I definitely think it still ranks high because you can just use it for so many different things. And if you are a dancer like myself, this is definitely something that you can have for competitive, like if you do competitions, if you do dance team, like, you know, you perform at games, even for like dance photo shoots, this is a really good palette to have. So all of my dancers out there who are watching this, get the 352 Second Nature palette by Morphe. Okay guys, so those were all of my palettes to show you all and their rankings. If I can find them, I will definitely link them in the description because I know some of them are still on the company's websites. I just want to say thank you all for watching, and make sure that if you haven't subscribed already, you subscribe. And if you don't follow me on Instagram already, it's felecia, and I will put that in the description as well. And if you haven't seen my other videos, make sure you watch those and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!